From NBC News, Governor Kathy Hochul sending National Guard members to New York City subways to combat ongoing crime. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, problem, reaction, solution. The Democrats, all about their bail reform, let criminals run rampant on the street. Then, when everyone freaks out because crime is through the roof, they bring in the military, and everyone's supposed to smile and accept it. This is how you get martial law.
This is exactly what it is. And they created chaos. They created this chaos in New York City. They did this on purpose. You have, subway workers getting slashed in the neck. You have people getting pushed into subway tracks. You have people, raping women on subway platforms. All of this madness, people getting shot on subway platforms in the Bronx, all over the place, total destruction. And so what they do now to fix the problem that they created is they violate your rights even more than they already did by destroying the safety of the city. I've had situations where, because they did this bag check thing a while back in New York when I was living there. And I've walked into the subway and had cops be there and be like, we're going to check your bag. And I'd be like, okay, well, I'm leaving. I don't even have anything in my bag, but like, I just can't do it. And so I'll leave and they'll be like, well, now we think you're suspicious. And I'm like, I don't have to take the subway. It's my right to walk 100 blocks instead of taking the subway. And I would rather do that than have you look at the crap in my bag, which is like, what? There's like nothing in there. So, it's very offensive to have
750
your stuff
National Guardsmen.
There's absolutely no reason for this at all. Did you see also the other thing they did in New York is they came up with these surveillance robots, and they put the surveillance robots, millions of dollars, surveillance robots for a trial program. And they just carefully at the end of the trial program realized that it was a totally garbage idea that was ineffective entirely and took the $1 million robots out of the subway system. Everything they're doing, the city was perfect. And they destroyed it little bit at a time over the past 5 years. They just completely, systemically ruined the most wonderful city on the face of the earth on purpose so that now they can do what you were saying. They can institute martial law. They did this after 9/11 too. There were guys you were there, right?
No, I wasn't.
No, weren't you at Occupy?
That was
like 10 years later.
That was 10 years later.
Okay.
This reminds me of post 9/11.
They had military guys out there on the corners with giant rifles.
Oh, yeah.
And it was terrifying.
I worked down there at Ground Zero. They were just dudes in
it was
fatigues.
everywhere. It reminds me of post 9/11. You go to the airport, it's just full of military. You're like, what is happening? And you just feel like you're at war constantly. And that's how I guess they want people to feel like they're in fear. I don't know. I mean, who wants to live in New York this way, though?
This is
This
is the entry-level martial law. People need to understand history is condensed. Martial law is not going to be Kathy Hochul coming out with a gavel or with an iron gauntlet and banging on the table and being like, the military rules you now. Ha ha ha. It's going to be for your safety because of the crime. We are bringing in the National Guard to keep you safe.
That's how she phrased it this morning when she talked about it.
And then a month from now, she's going to say, the widespread success we've seen in the subway has many people asking for an expansion of our National Guard program. 750 additional guardsmen will be added to certain street corners in the city. And then a year later, your police have been replaced by National Guard.
Or robots. Basically,
or robots and
National Guard.
National Guard driving the robots in mech suits.
What they need to do
in a warehouse somewhere, controlling them like a video game.
No. Because if they allow the National Guardsmen to pilot the mech suits, the recruitment numbers would skyrocket.
Especially if they drone pilot them and they didn't have to go into combat. They could just be in a machine in a building.
You're in a warehouse somewhere just playing a video game.
If they said you can remote control a robot, some people would be like, sure, I guess. If they said enlist and we'll give you an Iron Man suit. Boom.
And it does have a jetpack.
A jetpack, must have a jetpack.
Both stabilizers on the back and on the feet. What they need to do is plexiglass these subways. All of them in New York right now. And every other metropolitan city in the United States, and you start plexiglassing your subways.
Ian, that costs money.
Yes, it does. And so does having National Guard stand by. And it's going to cost a lot more in human sacrifice to make these people stand there and push and pull at other humans. You need plexiglass. DC does it at the airport. We've done this ourselves. This is the same crap.
What do you mean?
You need plexiglass walls so you can't fall into the subway track. They have plexiglass walls all along, except for where the doors open. There are plexiglass doors that open.
People getting robbed.
It stops people from getting pushed onto the tracks.
Okay,
that's basically what that would stop.
You know what I'm realizing?
But that's like a cool way to like commit suicide if you're like, just kidding. In a video game.
What I'm realizing is
nice save.
That the what they're doing as Democrats in New York would be really great for someone who runs a business when you're trying to implement policies. You know what I mean? Like they get rid of the police, allow crime to run rampant, and then when everyone complains, they go super heavy-handed and bring in National Guard. I got to utilize this strategy here at Timcast somehow.
It's the most basic. This is what they're doing with the illegal immigration. If they really want mass deportations, dude, you're going to see guardsmen on your lawn being like having the authority to walk into your, like, that's the slow creep. And I feel like I'm like, hello, everyone. This is here's a blueprint of your demise. Avoid it. And people are like, and like, dude, this is so odd. I don't
imagine. So
get
listen,
mad, honestly.
As our earlier super chatter already pointed out, there is a way to deal with the immigration crisis that doesn't involve deploying National Guard and massive expansion of government. And that would be just make it a criminal offense to, it already is illegal to employ.
You have to fill out I-9 forms.
Right. But it's like a civil violation. It's like you get fined.
Yeah.
Now make it jail time and it stops.
And you only get fined if they come check your I-9 forms. Because all you have to do is have your I-9 forms on file. And and there's like,
but I do agree with
nobody
Ian.
ever comes to check.
If Trump comes out and says, I will be invoking the Insurrection Act to deploy the military to begin the process of mass deportation, I would have very serious concerns about that. And my first demand is, I wouldn't say no to it. I would say, we need strong civilian oversight that can override this in the event of a certain number of grievances very, very quickly. We do need to deport. I don't think it's a bad idea to utilize the law enforcement capabilities we have. I don't know if you can use, under posse comitatus, army for this unless Trump invoked the Insurrection Act. National Guard could theoretically be utilized for it, but I think you would need civilian oversight to a very, very high degree if something like that were to happen.
Yeah, man. This is I was listening to Brett Weinstein, one of my favorite people. If you guys don't know Brett,
I love Brett.
Watch Brett Weinstein. He's like
Northwest
becoming more and more convinced. He's from the Northwest. Yeah. It seems like he's becoming more and more convinced that there's a transnational organization or disorganization, but there's groups of people that are multinational that are overseeing this weirdness. Like, why is there a mass open-ended immigration into the country when they need soldiers and a reason to crack down on the population? Like, why did they put the Patriot Act into place? Why are they now turning their international spying on domestic spying as feared? Like, why is this all happening? I bring it up not to make a point, not to say this is what's happening, but people like Brett, just basic evolutionary biologists, are like, yo, bro, this is just bigger than countries. You look at the map, and I said it earlier, like, just because the lines of Germany look like where they're at doesn't mean that that's where German influence begins and ends. And the corporations don't have borders. We don't see the influence of these things, although we know that they're there. And I'll tell you what I think. I think it's intent. I think we are literally being stripped and sold out into some new corporate global governance. And it is fucking terrifying because I don't know how to preserve.
Yeah. And I feel very strongly that as Americans, we are absolutely not beholden to any law outside of our borders. I mean, unless we're like in those places, but international law, I feel like we should not submit to that ever.
We're the law of man, the law of nature, hunger. We're susceptible to the law of nature.
Sure, but I'm talking about like man-made laws.
Right, but the law of money, if we're stripped of our economic prowess by these external forces because we don't play rules by them, then we're left to like, at least maybe Congress could create our own money for us or something, as it's really what it's supposed to have done from the beginning.
Don't we have that?
It's supposed to be, but they gave it to the Federal Reserve in 1913.
Yeah, I guess
some
that makes
private
sense.
companies been doing it for us. I don't normally talk this long on this show because I'm not politics isn't really my thing, but yeah, man, I'm really at a loss.
How would you react if they wanted to search your bag in the subway?
I'd show it to them and walk on.
You'd just show it to them and get on the subway.
I don't think I'd go on the subway. I would just avoid it.
I've been there, done that.
I've walked so many extra blocks, you know.
They searched me. Okay, post 9/11, I was 19. Yeah, 18, 19. And that whole year, I was on some kind of list. Kim Iverson said the same thing to me. We were both on this some sort of list where we got searched 3 times every time we flew, and I was flying all the time. And it was only from LA to Vegas. Those are my flights. That's like 45-minute, an hour flight.
Did you fly there's a company that does private jets, but they're commercial and super cheap, and they fly on the West Coast. I forgot what it's called. This was
2001, and I was 18,
Oh,
19.
okay. That was a very long time ago.
but no, I got searched 3 times. So you guys, when I get checked in, go through everything, like go through my underwear, not even kidding, go through security, got searched again. Before I get on the plane, they'd bring like 5 people aside, and they'd search everyone, and I'd ask them, I'd be like, you're on this list? Yeah, I'm on this list. I'm like, okay.
Did you ever figure out what the list was?
No, nobody knows. It was just random. They kept saying random.
Was it like
I would
name?
ask.
I had a friend, and her name was Allie, but it was spelled ALI. And she was on like all of these do not fly type of lists. She was constantly getting flagged for everything. And she was like, it's literally just It's literally, I'm just this girl from North Carolina.
My name's
like,
Heidi Briones. I don't think
Right?
that sounds
Ali? Ali? She's like, no, it's Allie.
Allie.
Like,
It's
get it
just
straight.
Allie, like Allison, except my parents were lazy and just named me Allie.
I've been getting like flight fatigue, travel fatigue from I guess security fatigue from all having to take my shoes off, go through, take my jacket off, take my fanny pack off.
I start getting angry. Do you get angry? I get like mad.
Frustrated.
Sometimes. They start yelling at you and they're like, go faster. And you're like, shut up.
And now I'm seeing these big machines that scan it all for you. Like, you don't even have to take your laptop out. We're just going to scan everything that you've got going on. I'm like, good. In my mind, I'm like, thankful that I don't have to take my shoes off. But
then
in reality, it's like it got me begging for my own.
You guys, you got it all right. It's easy. Okay, you don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is register with the government and go in for a screening, and then you never have to do that again. Isn't it much easier?
Get your
just
real ID? Is that what it is?
No, I got TSA pre.
TSA, I have that too.
TSA pre. And now they introduced Clear several years ago.
Is that better? Do you have that too?
No, it is the biggest. I got rid of it right.
Is it where they scan your eyeballs?
Clear is a biometric. So when I did it, when they first launched, they said, with Clear, you go right to the front of the line. And what I thought they were saying is, TSA pre is great. You go in for a screening, you file the paperwork, and then whenever you do security, you're gonna take your shoes off, you're gonna take your laptop out. It's a shorter line because we know who you are. I said, okay, I'll do that. When Clear came out, I was like, oh, this must be one better. Where if you use your biometrics, you get to walk right in. They're not worried about you. Wrong. Clear is literally you just paying extra money to cut in front of other people. But that only really matters. Like, so I go to the airport and I'm traveling and there's a huge line and the people who are selling Clear are like, if you had Clear, you'd be in the front of the line. I thought they were saying they escort you through security. Like they do a quick screening and they walk you right in. You got to wait. You don't got to do anything. No. So I signed up. It was like $200, scanned my hand, and I was like, okay, now what? And they're like, come with me. They walked up an empty line.
Separate line, yeah.
No, there was nobody in line. And and they're like, there you go. And I'm like, what just happened? And they were like, now you can go in. And I was like, but I could have always just gone in. And so I just canceled right away. I was like, okay. What it does is, if TSA pre has a huge line, or the regular security is a huge line, they personally escort you to the front of the line. That's it. You're paying for that. That's it. And you got to give them your hand scan.
$200 a year.
Here's the thing though. It's something like that. I didn't care about giving my hand biometrics because the federal government already has it. Yeah. I worked for O'Hare Airport.
Fingerprints.
I worked at O'Hare.
Right.
So they already have my full handprints. Like the way you would check in at work is they had a box and you put your hand on it. It scanned your hand. And this was back in 2000. What was this? 2004. 2004, 2005, 2006. So that's been there forever. The funny thing about the airport, though, I'll give a shout out. It's been 20 years, so maybe they fixed it. But they would tell us, you have to go through security every time you come in. If you drive into O'Hare to work, there's no security. You pull up to a checkpoint, you hand them your ID, they scan it, you go on in. If you have contraband in your car, they don't check for it, ever. You then get on an employee bus that brings you to the terminal that you're going to, and you walk in and you're in.
Sounds like the White House.
So here's the other thing. They say, but you have to go through
That's
security.
Where they found the white powder.
So if you take the train in, you have to go through TSA security, same as everybody else. Here's the best part. The bag room has a door, a regular door that goes from the public area where there's no security screening and the secure area where all the bags are. You can literally just swipe your card to the door and open it, walk in. And I asked him about this. I was like, you say I got to go to security, but I'm working bag room tomorrow morning. Can't I just go to the door and swipe my ID card and walk in? And they go, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, but I'm working in that room. You want me to go up, go to the security, go all the way down and around, then walk back 2 inches from where I was just standing. And here's the other thing. The bag room where the bags come out in O'Hare, it's like a doggy door. A human being can literally just walk through the hole.
I thought about that.
I was like,
yeah,
whatever. I think the security is all a big lie.
Also, people can walk out with your bags. I every time I get off the plane, I'm
they
like,
don't do the checking anymore. Remember when they used to check your little tag?
They used to
check your tag.
Anybody, like even a bald
that,
government employee, a bald
guy walks
a guy
off
who works
the
for
street.
Joe Biden, a guy who works for Joe Biden can walk in and take your bag
and he could have lipstick on. He could have he'd be wearing red lipstick even.
He was taking women's clothes. You would find some well-dressed.
What's that guy's name?
The baggage area is a public area.
Brent,
you have illegal immigrants sleeping out in the airport.
Now,
yes,
yeah.
You can walk in from outside into the baggage area,
hang out there,
steal a bag, and people can leave. That is crazy.
It is.
Our society is like 1900s society right now.
Did anyone else get fingerprinted by when they were in elementary school and like your class took you on a field trip to the police office and everybody at the police station, everyone got fingerprinted?
No.
We were at the mall and my mom took me. It was like
your mom took you.
It was like I think we did it for some program with the school, but we did it at the mall.
My whole school got fingerprinted at the police station.
Dude, they're getting you. They're
I feel like we did that
when I was like in 5th grade or something.
I know when I was a baby,
weird.
we got our footprint.
Right, but that was to be cute.
Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, that's for your
Well,
mom.
no, that's like
Be like,
no,
"Look."
no. This
no,
was
not that. Oh, you mean like on your birth certificate? They don't do that anymore.
No, if I could,
I'll let you talk. Sorry.
Yeah, it's for security in the event a child was kidnapped. They would take your footprint, put the baby foot on the ink, and then put it on the paper.
Okay.
I don't know if I ever got that.
I don't know if I got that either. There's definitely not any of that on my birth certificate. But
Have
I
it
was
in my
born
baby
in
book.
Yeah.
This was back
was born
during
in a
the
janky
stranger
place.
danger scare. When they were like,
Well,
they're
it's
coming
even
for our
worse
kids.
now. I mean,
And they'd be on TV and they'd be like, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
that was a
remember
good.
that
That was a good
definitively.
campaign. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Don't talk to
when
strangers.
the street lights go off, you got to get home, right? That
Yeah.
that kind of stuff was good. We don't do that anymore. Now they're like, whatever.
Yeah, we don't have like public service announcements anymore.
No, or just like,
Well, where would they even
cultural
be?
memes.
We're so dissociated.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.